intensifies, we may need to call additional evacuations into level C. So be prepared and be ready. Which areas are level A and B? We know that finding your evacuation level can be confusing, and people get confused with flood zones, which are a different level of flooding and more tied to your insurance and FEMA flood zones. We are talking about evacuation levels. You can go to scgov.net and look up your evacuation level if you're not familiar with it. You can also call 311. We have people standing by to help you, let you know if you're in one of those levels. But let's go over some of the geographic areas. All barrier islands. We do not want one person to stay on a barrier island for this storm. You will not survive the storm surge if it comes at 10 to 12 feet or more on a barrier island. Areas that border intercoastal waterways, areas that are along rivers and creeks, such as the Myakka, Philippi Creek, Shackett Creek, Godfrey Creek, Forked Creek, Rock Creek. This is not an inclusive list. It is any body of water that flows out into the Gulf of Mexico or into the intercoastal. That storm surge is going to come and have great force and push inland, and it's going to cause flooding along all of those areas. If you live west of 41, and even some areas on the east side of 41, particularly in Englewood, Nokomis, Venice, Osprey, and Gulf Gate, you need to carefully check the evacuation level map because you could be included in that level A and B. Evacuations are being called all along the West Coast, which means that we are having millions of people that will be on the roads evacuating today and tomorrow. So do not wait. If you need to evacuate and you are in one of those areas, leave today. We encourage you to find a family or a friend outside of the evacuation level. You don't have to go hundreds of miles away. Go tens of miles away. If you can find somebody to stay with, you're going to be in a better spot than trying to get on the road and go hundreds of miles. If you are in a situation where you can find a hotel room, they're very scarce right now because they've been taken up. But if you can get into a hotel room, that's also a good option. As a last resort, we will have evacuation centers open. They will be opening tomorrow at 10 a.m. Again, evacuation centers will be open at 10 a.m. And we have a list of those at our website, scgov.net. That can be an option for you if you have nowhere else to go. If you need a ride to an evacuation center, we will be activating our transportation rally points, and you can find those on our website. And if you need a ride or assistance, call 311 and we can come and get you to a rally point if needed. We don't want any barriers for anybody to not be able to get to an evacuation center if they need to get there. Evacuation centers are not hotels, so please bring bedding, something to sleep on. There won't be cots there. Bring any medicines that you need, entertainment for you, your children. Power may, go out during the course of this event, so just be prepared. All evacuation centers are pet friendly. We would just ask that you bring supplies for them. If you do not live in the evacuation level, it may be safe for you to stay in your home, but you need to prepare your property, ensure you have supplies. We encourage you to have, at a minimum, a 7-day supply of food and water so that you don't have to leave your home where the roads might be dangerous to head out to get supplies. Please sign up for alerts. You can do that at scgov.net. We have gotten some information that some people are having a little bit of trouble of signing up on that site. So if you cannot get to where you need to get to as you get to that site, call 311 and we will help you sign up for alerts. To reiterate, evacuation orders are now in place for level A, level B, any mobile manufactured homes across the entire county, and those that live on boats. We implore you, do not stay in any of these areas. It is not worth risking your life and the life of your family members. This storm, as we mentioned, is going to be historic, and if we are the ones to receive that high level of storm surge, it is going to be a catastrophic event for our county. There are many uncertainties with the storm. It can still shift. But what we do know is that somebody will get that storm surge, and we want you to be prepared and to heed these evacuations. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Moran from the Sarasota County Commission. I did want to take a minute here this morning and recognize the wonderful people that I'm surrounded by here. Outside of this room, we have literally hundreds of people. Our Emergency Operations Center folks, our public utilities, solid waste, our communications department. These folks have taken time away from their personal lives, from their family, and for their loved ones to do whatever it takes to bring relevant, timely information to the residents of Sarasota County. With that, they're doing that to save the life of one of your loved ones or possibly your own. I would encourage you to implore you to do whatever these folks say to do. Listen closely to their instructions, especially related to the upcoming evacuation zones that might be relevant here quickly. All of that information can be found on our social media platforms, and as mentioned, is scgov.net. It's not .com, scgov.net. And we'll again keep bringing you the most relevant, timely information possible. May God be with you and all of your families and the residents of Sarasota County. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I'm Terry Connor, Superintendent of Sarasota County Schools. I just want to first thank all of our essential personnel who are in our shelters today. We have 14 of our schools that are serving as shelters for this community, 2 of them being for medically dependent, which would be Tatum Ridge and Lamarck Elementary Schools. They are working hard to prepare as we open up those shelters on tomorrow, Tuesday at 10 a.m. I do want to say, obviously, schools are closed today through Wednesday, and most likely schools will be closed throughout the remainder of the week. We will officially announce a Thursday, Friday closing either later today or tomorrow, so that our families are prepared for that information. Again, thank you to our essential personnel, and please stay safe. We welcome our guests as we open up on Tuesday, 10 a.m. for shelters, and have a good day.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sarasota County Sheriff Kurt Hoffman. I specifically want to talk to you for a moment about public safety and the impact on public safety with this storm. As you heard from our EM chief, this is going to be historic. 6 to 12 feet of water coming in, almost twice what we had before. Everyone in these evacuation zones needs to heed the warning to get off. The men and women of the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office, fire, EMS, all the first responders can't help you if you're not helping yourself. Get out of those areas. As I've said before in this room many times, 40, 45 mile an hour winds start to hit. Those first responders are coming off of the road. We're not going to be able to break into your door when the water is 8 feet high and get you out of there in the middle of the storm. It's not going to happen. It's going to be unsafe for us to be out there. As soon as the winds die down and it's safe, we'll be back out there. But the key to this whole storm, as our EM chief has said over and over again, is to get to a safe place. Execute your plan today and get out of here. We escaped Hurricane Helene without any deaths in this county. I think it's fair to say this is a different storm. As our EM chief said, it's bringing a lot of the factors together. Historic and deadly are words that are appropriate for it. So heed the warnings, get out. Law enforcement and first responders are not going to be there in the middle of this storm to help you. Certainly when the sun comes up the next day, we'll be out there doing our job. One final message to listeners and viewers out there. We have over 1,000 men and women in the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. We are going to station units from the north to the south. We have canceled vacations, canceled training. We have a full staff. If you're coming to Sarasota County for nefarious activity, looting, stealing, disrupting our operations, we are extremely busy, but we'll take the time to put you in jail. So please don't do that. Thank you.
In addition to those who have made remarks, we also have our Director of Emergency Services, Rich Collins, and our Sarasota County Fire Chief, Rathbun, available to take your questions at this time for the reporters in the room. Any questions? Yes.
Yeah, I have one about fires and shelters. Is the county planning on putting this out before the storm comes? So our team has been working nonstop. Obviously, we have thousands and thousands of culverts and storm drains throughout Sarasota County. Some of them are still left inaccessible by Hurricane Helene. But yes, all the hot spots, all the known ones that they can get to, they're still working on them today to do it. Our public works and our stormwater teams have been amazing. Thinking back to the impact from Debbie, Helene, and now with the work that they've done out the field to try and get us as ready as humanly possible for this.
Yeah, thank you for that question. It's a great question. What can the public do to help themselves, help out all of the responders and the county and the municipalities? So the first thing that they can do is evacuate if they're in one of those areas that we have called. And just to reiterate, that's level A, level B, all mobile manufactured homes, people living on boats. So if that's you, we need you to leave. As the sheriff said, if you stay and then you need to be rescued, that's going to take a while for someone to come and check on you. And there's also a lot of resources that go into going in and doing search and rescue. So if everybody leaves, that makes that process a lot easier. We can focus right away on recovery efforts. Also, people can take pictures of their belongings, make sure that they're doing video. It's as good for insurance purposes. Get that video and pictures taken today, just in case you have damages. Also, take cash out to have handy. We want people, if they need something afterwards and power is out for an extended amount of time, businesses aren't going to be able to run their normal, cash machines or their normal, checkout machines. So having cash on hand will be handy. And then it would be helpful if they review our emergency preparedness guide that we have on our website, again, scgov.net. We have that available electronically in English, Spanish, Russian, and Ukrainian. And it has a lot of really great information on how to be prepared. The more prepared people are, then the easier it's going to be for us, in that recovery phase. But lastly, we just need people to have patience. If we do get hit with these impacts, it is going to be a very long recovery process. And everybody that is standing here and all of our partners in the community across the region and the state and the federal government, we're going to be working together to get everything back up and running as quickly as possible. But that is going to take a significant amount of time. So we ask for people's patience. That would be incredibly helpful.
Any other questions?
Speaking of power outages, what is the county, I assume the county is working with FPL, to activate that huge staging area at the fairgrounds. Can you tell us what you've been doing so far to facilitate getting the lights back on?
Yeah. So FPL is a great partner of ours, and we have been working with them ahead of this storm. We've actually been working with them all throughout Hurricane Helene, so we haven't stopped that process with the recovery. We were very, very close to getting everybody back online from that hurricane, and so now we're going to run right into this one. We do anticipate having widespread power outages. I can tell you that FPL in the last number of storms, including Hurricane Ian in 2022, which is a similar looking storm than this one, they got power back up very quickly. And so we know that they have a network of different trucks that they call in and workers that they'll call in from all over the country. I do want to make one point, though. We need to remember that we just had Helene down here, but it was not just in Florida. That storm, it went across the entire eastern part of the country. So there's a lot of recovery work and a lot of workers still up in North Carolina, Tennessee, all the way up the coast. So our resources are going to be a little different after the recovery of this storm than we've seen in the past. So it goes back to people, please be prepared. Extensive power outages, they will get things up as quickly as possible. It might take a little longer than we've seen in the past.
Any other questions?